So center of mass, hand path, and elbow path. Got it set up for you here right-handed and from the top view. Center of mass is the bat. You can clearly see the E pattern, the ear patterns. It's a spiral. I'll give you another view. Center of mass to T1. Right there. Draw the ear. It's the way we're built. It's the Fibonacci sequence. It's the Nautilus. It's galaxies. We're following nature. So draw what Lee calls the ear path. So elbow, hand, center of mass, and now let's do the club path too. Right there. You see, it mimics the same patterns. I'm going to try my best to explain this, basically looking down one-handed. And of course, here comes the planes as soon as I start talking. Air conditioner kicked down the planes. But anyway, I'm going to keep rattling at this. I'll wait a second until it goes over. Looking down, if I get my eyes a certain way, okay, I can have the club and the handle drawing my mouth. So what Lee's used to doing is if I settle my head a certain way and feel like I'm tracing with my hand my mouth from corner to corner, the club does this. Okay? What I'm saying is, if he uses his left hand the way I'm talking about, and we're not breaking a wrist, it's fairly firm, you can visualize hitting with the back of your hand. And it will trace. So let's say I imagine I'm hitting with the back of my hand. Right now it's open. But if I turn my stance to the left, now I'm going to have that dead square. So if I'm tracing my mouth with the hand pattern, it's going to strike that ball fairly square and solid. It has to do with your alignments, and right now I'm holding the camera at my eye height. So he's imagining patterns. If you imagine the ear pattern, which is simply a spiral, he's drawing the spiral around his body. He's drawing an ear pattern to him. He's drawing through his nose, through the mouth, through his nostril, whatever. It's still the same thing, pointing the handle, or imagining the back of your hand is the face. It's just another way of thinking about it. And that's all that's being done. So those patterns are in his head. And so that's what he feels in a line. Taking the handle off my thing, and I'll try and do this best I can, all right? All right, it's hard because you're looking down. So what happens is, and my hand matches up, but you can see I'm still pointing the handle, but look at the back of my hand, and it's fairly firm. I can slap that with the back of my hand. Like that, right there. So see how it's open? that ball will fade. I'm drawing my mouth right now. I'm tracing basically a C, my mouth. So from corner of my mouth to corner of my mouth, corner of mouth to corner of mouth with my left hand. So if you imagine that, and you catch it the right way, that ball just jumps. Unexpectedly, you caught it with a slightly open face, and you had that pattern, and that's all he's doing. That to him is how he thinks. You know, so you're slightly this way now. Now I'm square. You might be able to see my feet. So it's all how you look down. And he knows that alignment in his head, and he can just come through there. He's not swinging anything. He's just turning to it. The myofascial lines and stuff like that, the stretches are catching the ball. And he's giving it impetus with this right hand. So this then lines up with his eyes. Okay, and now he's just drawing a C pattern or a spiral pattern if he's thinking of the full swing. It's just how he thinks about it. You can imagine those things, and when you get the unexpected jump, you know, the ball just will pop on you and fly really far, just right there. It jumps about 5 feet further than the first time. It'll just pop. Same thing, I'm taking the C stick and pointing it. It's the same thing. It's all the same. It's all the same. You get the ball to pop, to jump, with slightly open face is all he's doing. He's learned energy. Anyway, it's just a motion.
So if I draw my C, the mouth, okay, so looking down, my perspective's different. So his eyes are on the ball, so you have the visual here. But here is where the ball would be. Okay, so as you're looking down, he's got eye levels is all he's doing. So when you look down, you've got a plane going to the ball like this, but the mouth is here. So you got here and here. All he's doing is imagining his hand drawing his C, his mouth. He's just drawing the teeth, you know? And then he imagines going through one nostril. He used to say the left, you know? Or it could be the right if he's lined up, but he's going through his left. So people used to ask him, how are you pounding the ball like that? Oh, I'm swinging through my nostril. Well, that's just the way he thinks. So he's getting a feel based on a visual. And to him, it's drawing patterns. So when he talks about swinging from the ears, he's not swinging from here to here, although he could. It's too high. It'd be above his plane. It wouldn't work. So he's picked a spot on his face. So he's drawing a feature on his face because of his stance. He's lining up a ball and he can't miss. It's always in the same spot. You know, he's swinging his hands relative to his body, his hands. You know, so if he's tucked in a certain space and, you know, he's got his eyes in a certain way, he sees the hand right on his mouth pattern. He feels like he's drawing his mouth. So it's just a way of thinking, you know. And it's just him. You know, can you mimic it? Yes. Now, when he talks about the ears, he's talking about a pattern like this. So it does this. It spirals. I've done videos on him spiraling. You know, put it out a Nautilus, you know, picture the spiral. So you can swing like that. If you look at the top, what I'm showing you is from a top view, that swing is drawing the ear with your hand. I just drew an ear. I started in close. I went out a little bit with my hand, came around, and that draws the ear. You know, you'll see this pattern. You know, you'll see it. I just drew this. Came around, I drew the ear. So with that, complete with his visual lines and stuff like that, as he bends down in his nose patterns and getting alignments with his nose, say on his nostril or whatever, he's drawing through that pattern. He's telling exactly what he does. Now, if you fool around with it, you'll be looking down and you'll draw your mouth with little chips. That's how I did it when I first did it. And man, when you catch him a certain way, it just jumps. And that's the same thing I tell with this stick to point. You know, that's the energy part. Because if I draw my mouth, watch. How about that? I just drew my mouth. And it snapped at the perfect spot. I didn't break a wrist. I just used my hand and drew this pattern. Okay? Now I'll do the ear. So I'm going to draw the ear in a pattern. So I'd be up here. My wrist isn't real bent back or anything, you know. The left wrist would be neutral, see? And then I'm going to just draw that pattern. Okay, I'll do it with both hands. I'm not bowing this. I'm not starting it by bowing it. You know, then I'll drop it, and now I got a problem. I'm just keeping this angle here. And I can imagine drawing that, whatever, the ear, let's do. So I spiraled around and drew the ear. That's all I did. You could do it either hand. I'm imagining that hand drawing the ear. You can kind of see it if you look. Drawing an ear. Fact. You know, that's why he's thinking like that. His patterns are that. So if he draws just the imagines from the little mouth here, he's thinking this. That's where all his power is, down at the bottom. So he's gotten to the point, and then, you know, he draws the mouth. He's looking down at this, and that's to him the pattern. See, I can do that. I'm drawing from corner of the mouth to corner of the mouth right now. And here's snap. Move the body a little bit, get a little momentum, draw the mouth. That's all he's doing. You know, I just drew the mouth there. I'll draw the ear with the left hand. I tend to break this way, you know, it's just a habit. But you can go neutral. Just turn around. Draw the ear. Neutral. Turn around. You know, neutral. I'm not bowing this way. That's bad. Because now it snaps back there when I draw the ear. It doesn't have the snap. If I do this, my pattern is to break it back, wolfie. So when I come down, I can break it the other way, and then it's neutral. I do that a lot. Or I like my best is when I just go neutral. Plain neutral like this. Just come up neutral. No bend. No drop. Draw the C or draw the ear. The ear is best. All it is. Piece of cake. Weird thing is, just fooling around with the little C pattern. When you get a little chip that just jumps, you go, oh, that's what it is. That's how I got that drive that just surprises you. It's how the hell did it fly that far into the wind? Just caught it the right way underneath. Now I'm using this hand angle as a guide, and he's not. My problem is I always reach across like this. See my under here, I'm reaching in and, you know, then letting it go. He's just doing this. He's staying there, turning like that. He never moves his arm. So he's just using that as a guide. That's what Austin did. This arm was just a guide to hit the ball every time. So with his alignments with the, well, he's drawing patterns. So he's got his alignments. When he looks down, it's always the same. He can adjust his head to the one balls that are further away and get his eyes and his mouth in the same spot because the club's getting longer. It's the same. So he's got all these little things that he went through, and that's all he did. You know, he figured that out. And for him, it really works. And it's hard to tell people how to do that. You know, they don't understand it. They're not at that level. You're getting there. You're starting to move on. I understand it. It all doesn't work for me, but the patterns did. The hand path worked. You know, that makes perfect sense. this was big for me because now I'm using that, or trying to. I'm starting to get used to that. And when I did it, it's that face, that face stayed open. I'm used to reaching across, and it's a different angle coming in. Where with my shoulder popping this way, I just keep it neutral, just turn. Keep it pinned under here where I could hold this now. Now I got the right patterns. And the stretch of the myofascial lines and stuff, because I'm like this, I can really feel, when I turn, I really feel it come from all the way down from my foot. Like big time. It's, whoa, whoa. I'm really feeling it stretch. It's like if I had my arms like this. It feels like this shoulder is going way high and this shoulder is going way high. That's what it feels like, and I can feel it all the way down into my toes. It's really pulling on me. So let me hit a jumper. Saw it, but the first one was normal, just came up normal. That second one just jumped. It was hard. It's just weird when you get it. And it's that face. It's just, I'm using the back of the hand, guiding it in, but I'm just turning. And then that's open slightly. I can close it and get it to go lower, but it just catches it and choo. It's weird. A little chipping, you'll notice it.